Did you know that one of the most iconic cars in history, the Volkswagen Beetle, was designed by the same guy who created the Porsche 911? Yeah, mind-blowing, right? Let's dive into the wild history of Volkswagen. A story full of twists, turns, and some of the most beloved cars ever made. Our story begins in 1930s Germany. The government had a vision, a people's car, or in German, a Volkswagen. They wanted a simple, affordable car that any family could own. The task fell to a brilliant engineer named Ferdinand Porsche. Yes, that Porsche. He designed a car with a unique, air-cooled engine in the back, and a rounded, bug-like shape that was both aerodynamic and easy to manufacture. This was the birth of the Type 1, but the world would soon know it by another name: the Beetle. Production was just getting started when World War II broke out. They introduced sedans like the Jetta and Passat, which became hugely popular for their blend of German engineering and everyday usability. The Volkswagen factory was repurposed for military production. After the war, the factory was in ruins, and the future of the people's car looked grim. The British military took control of the factory, and initially, they weren't impressed. They thought the Beetle was ugly and noisy. One British motor industry expert famously said the car was quite unattractive to the average buyer and that the project would fail. Boy, were they wrong. Against all odds, under the leadership of a former Opel executive named Heinrich Nordhoff, the factory was rebuilt and Beetle production restarted. By 1949, Volkswagen was back in German hands, and the Beetle began its journey to global stardom. The 1950s and 60s were the golden age for Volkswagen, especially in America. The Beetle was the anti-establishment car. While American automakers were building huge, flashy cars with giant fins and tons of chrome, the Beetle was small, simple, and reliable. It became a symbol of the counterculture movement. It was affordable, easy to fix, and had a personality all its own. Volkswagen's advertising in this era was legendary. The Think Small campaign is still studied in marketing classes today. It was honest, witty, and completely different from anything else at the time. One ad showed a tiny picture of the Beetle on a huge white page with the headline, "It's ugly, but it gets you there." This kind of self-deprecating humor won over millions of fans. But VW wasn't a one-hit. In 1950, they introduced the Type 2, better known as the Transporter, the Combi, or simply the VW bus. Based on the same chassis as the Beetle, the bus became the ultimate symbol of freedom and adventure. It was the vehicle of choice for surfers, hippies, and families on road trips. You could live in it, travel the world in it, and it just had this cool, laid-back vibe that no other vehicle could match. From Woodstock to the beaches of California, the VW bus was there, a colorful icon of a generation. By the early 1970s, however, things were starting to change. Beetle sales were declining. The design was getting old and new. More modern competitors were emerging. Volkswagen needed a new hero, and they found it in a completely different kind of car. In 1974, Volkswagen launched the Golf. In America, it was called the Rabbit. This was a radical departure for VW. It was a compact, front-wheel drive hatchback with a water-cooled engine in the front. Designed by the legendary Giorgetto Giugiaro, the Golf was sharp, practical, and fun to drive. It was an instant hit. The Golf didn't just save Volkswagen. It created a whole new category of car: the hot hatch. The Golf GT, introduced in 1976, was a performance version that combined the practicality of a hatchback with the speed and handling of a sports car. It was fast, affordable, and incredibly fun. The GTI proved that you didn't need a big, expensive car to have a thrilling driving experience. It became a legend in its own right, and has inspired countless imitators ever since. Over the next few decades, Volkswagen continued to expand its lineup. They brought back the Beetle name with the new Beetle in 1998, a modern, retro-styled tribute to the original that captured a whole new generation of fans. Volkswagen also went on an acquisition spree, bringing some of the most prestigious brands in the automotive world under its umbrella, including Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, and Bentley. This transformed the Volkswagen Group into one of the largest and most powerful automakers on the planet. Of course, The journey hasn't always been smooth. The company faced a massive scandal in 2015 related to its diesel emissions. It was a huge setback that cost them billions and damaged their reputation for trust and reliability. But Volkswagen responded by making a massive pivot towards the future. Electric vehicles. They've invested billions into their new ID. Range of all-electric cars, from the ID. 3 hatchback to the ID. 4 SUV, and the super cool ID. Buzz, a modern, electric reimagining of the classic VW bus. Volkswagen is betting big on an electric future. It's a bold move, aiming to redefine the people's car for a new era of sustainability. So, from a single, humble, bug-shaped car to a global automotive giant, leading the charge into electric mobility, the story of Volkswagen is truly incredible. It's a story about innovation, resilience, and creating vehicles that do more than just get you from point A to point B. They become part of our culture, part of our families, and part of our memories. Whether it's the classic Beetle, the adventurous bus, the game-changing Golf, or the futuristic ID. Buzz Volkswagen has always known how to capture the spirit of the times and put it on 4 wheels. What's your favorite Volkswagen? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this trip through automotive history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next one.